right, Shalom. I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Wahar, Rakah, Quadash, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. I also would like to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders, a great millstone. Much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in His work. And as always, want to say shalom to the believers, the Akim as well as the Akwak, which will be you brothers along with the sisters that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, this lesson right here is going to be geared more so toward those amongst you brothers out there who have committed, and I emphasize the word committed, to performing the services of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, which comes in the form of, first and foremost, going out on the streets teaching, all right, during the week, bringing forth these epistles in the form of these videos, gathering with the brothers in your camp and doing these live streams, which is all an effort to feed the sheep of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. In that act alone, you have just made a commitment, a vow pretty much to the Heavenly Father through His Son, which doesn't mean literally, one day you stood up, you held up your right hand, you put your other hand across your chest, and this day I pledge an allegiance to make a vow to serve. No, man. The very first day you put on a garment, you uploaded your first video. You held post for the first time, all right? You held up your first sign. You got your first precept. Well, guess what? You actually made a vow to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And by no means should you draw back, man, okay? Despite the conditions around you, For an example, if you sign a contract, let's just say if you're a football player, you sign a contract with a particular owner, which that's a vow, right? Well, you're obligated to fulfill your end of the bargain, man. And every situation is not going to be ideal or suited to your liking, meaning every game you play is not going to be perfect football weather, man. Every game is not going to be clear skies, with no overcast, the temperature in the mid-60s with a slight breeze of wind from the east. No, some games is going to be nasty and damp and cold and rainy, extremely hot, or even snowing, man, okay? Or there's certain obligations you have to fulfill. You might have to travel to different cities to play the opponent, man, okay? And in that event, you can't tell the owner, you know what, I'm going to balance everything out, man. My wife and my kids, they miss me, man. No, you made a commitment to fulfill the duties what that owner has laid out. And that's the same with being in this truth, which a lot of guys, when they come in this thing, they feel as if they're going to be accommodated somehow, man, which reminds me of a statement the Elder Yashawamba made, which I'll always take with me, man, and it's somewhat of an anchor that keeps me grounded. And the statement that he made was, learn to become uncomfortable in this truth, man. Okay? The situation around you is not going to always be to your liking and comfortable for you. You got to learn how to become uncomfortable, man. And a lot of guys, they don't understand it. They feel as if they're going to be accommodated, not understanding you was called to be a servant, man. You was called to be a slave. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's start off with that in the book of Luke, the 17th chapter, and starting at the 7th verse. It says, but which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, yeah, and this captures the very essence and the dynamic between master and servant. And in this case, Yahweh Shah and the men that you see teaching His word. We will be those servants plowing and feeding cattle. And who is the cattle? The elect, the brothers and sisters alike out there who desire to be fed with the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And that's where we come in at, okay? It's our duty to convey these words unto you, man. Okay? Despite the conditions, despite if you don't feel like it today, man. All right? It says, but which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat? Yeah, who have seen such a thing, man? Where the master tell the servant, hey, just chill out. You have seen enough period pieces and movies dedicated to slavery by now to know that the master is not going to tell Toby, hey, man, go kick it, man. Go pop your old lady. I got it. Don't worry. No, man. He's going to work the hell out of him, man. Okay? And put that whip on him if he don't perform his duties, man. See? And that's the same with Yahweh Shah. We are his slave, man. And a lot of guys, they don't understand that, man. You know? From the outside looking in, they think everything is all gravy. You know, they come into this truth, they're going to be celebrated, you know? And they expect everything to be laid out for them. And soon as the first sign of drama come their way, or they start to experience that feeling of being uncomfortable, they want to, murmur, man. Okay? But they have lost sight on what this thing is about. You was called to work. You was called to grind and be a servant. See? Again, but which of you having a servant plowing or feeding cattle will say unto him by and by, when he has come from the field, go and sit down to meat? Yeah, who have seen such a thing, man? Hey, even when you fast forward it to now, all right, these plantations in the modern sense of the word, which would be your job, man, the boss catch you with your feet kicked up, you got some explaining to do, man. Okay, why? Because you was there to serve a certain duty, man. See? And if you do got your feet kicked up, if you don't got the perfect explanation, man, he going to tell you to get the hell out of there, all right? Verse 8, and would not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me. Yeah, that's the conditions of the battle. First, you ought to gird yourself, pull yourself together, and serve Yahweh Basham. I don't give a damn if your wife miss you, man. You got plenty of days of the week to deal with your woman, man, or your children. Furthermore, scriptures tell you to be as if you had no woman, man, or no wife. Okay? It says, and would not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me. Yeah, you was called to perform a certain duty, man, to serve Yahweh Basham Shah. See? Till I have eaten and drunken, meaning to when the Lord have received his glory, see? And afterward, thou shalt eat and drink, meaning after you do your service, then you're going to eat and drink, meaning you're going to be glorified. And that's dealing with the kingdom. But right now is not the time to seek relief, man. You got guys that's actually seeking for some form of relief, you know? I need to balance things out, man. No, man, you got to work. That's why you was called into this thing, see? Verse 9, it says, do he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? Yeah, the Lord not going to pat you on the back because you're doing what he commanded you to do. See? I throw not. Yeah, and that word throw translates to think. So the Lord said, I think not. Yeah, the Lord not going to pat you on the back because you went out in the rain and taught the word. You was commanded to do that, man. Or, you was tired, but still you made it to the live stream and you taught the word with the brothers. The Lord not going to pat you on the back. Hey, man, good job. No, man. So how much more you guys who are not willing to sacrifice, man? The Lord ultimately is going to spew you out, man, because you're a slothful servant, see? And again, that's what you was called to be, which, by the way, when you go into that word servant, it literally means slave, man. So when you're a slave, you don't have a say-so. You don't have a recommendation, man. You know what, man? I recommend I chill tonight. I want to see my woman. No, man. You a slave. You are here to work, man. See? Verse 10, so likewise ye, when ye have done all those things which are commanded you, see, it was commanded you to go out and teach. It was commanded of you to do live streams during the week. It was commanded you to do no less than 3 videos a week, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Shah. Because again, it's all about feeding the Lord's sheep. That's why the Lord, speaking with Peter, he told him thrice, look, man, if you love me, feed my sheep. Okay? So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. See that? And that's what guys get lost in the shuffle, man. Okay? They feel as if they come into this thing and they're going to be accommodated. No, man. This is your duty. All right? It's your duty to serve Yahweh Basham Shah. And guess what? You agreed to that. Nobody put a gun in your head and made you come into this truth, man, or commit. And again, this lesson is, I'm sending this one out right here to you guys who have actually come into this thing and begin to do the work of the Lord, and you become disenchanted for whatever reason, man. you know? Whether, it's your job or your schedule, it's beating you down, or your family, your woman is starting to gripe, she's complaining and murmuring against you. Hey, you haven't spent enough time with the kids. You missed your little girl's dance recital this week. What the hell wrong with you? And you begin to draw back. You begin to become offended. Oh man, I need to balance this thing out. I've been doing too much of this work. I'm neglecting my family. Guess what? You committed to this, man. Matter of fact, let me get something in the book of Matthew, the 20th chapter, and starting at the 6th verse, which is a parable, pretty much concerning the fact that the men that came into this thing, you agreed to this, man. Okay? Matthew 20, starting at verse 6, and about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, why stand ye here all the day idle? Yeah, you had guys twiddling their thumbs, man. So the Spirit of the Lord said, hey, come into the camp. Okay, you standing idle. You taking notes. I see you coming up to the camp. You watching. Come on in, all right, and partake, okay, in doing this work. Verse 7, they say unto him, because no man have hired us, he said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, which is symbolic to teaching his word, which the vineyard goes back to Israel. I forget exactly where it's at. I know it's in the book of Isaiah. It tells you how the vineyard is Israel. So the Lord said, go ye into the vineyard, meaning go to Israel and teach. It says, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. Meaning whatever the price that's right for you, you're going to receive it. And in this case will be what? The kingdom of heaven. You guys want the kingdom. You have no problem with having slaves. You want all these innumerable amount of women, all right, the resources, all the minerals of the planet Earth. You want to reign, be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai here on the planet Earth and beyond, okay? But you don't want to work for it. You agreed to that pay. Yeah, I want that. I want the kingdom, all right? So the Lord said, cool, that's the pay. That's what I'm going to pay you, right? Verse 9, and when they came, they were hired about the 11th hour. They received every man a penny. Yeah, so the penny is symbolic to the kingdom, man. See that? But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. See? And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house. Yeah, you come into the camp, and all of a sudden you become disenchanted. Now you begin to murmur. Man, I don't like the way these guys, running the camp, or, there's no time to chill. Or there's no time to unwind and relax a day or two. They just want to do the work, Which, yeah, there's a balance, but this in no wise offset the reason why you was called in, man. Scriptures called doing this work your first love, man. This is the whole duty of men right here, man. Dealing with the men that's called to prophesy. All right? But they begin to murmur against the good man of the house, okay? So when you murmur against your camp head, you murmur against the way the camp is being ran, all due to you not willing to uphold your end of the bargain, you actually murmuring against your house shot. See? Again, it says, and when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house. And that's the spirit. We did a lesson concerning the house of David. All right. And who is the master of the house? Yahweh Shah. Which, if you moved in someone's house, there's house rules, man. You don't move in someone's house, and you got your Timberlands on the couch, man. They're going to say, get the hell out of here. Okay. So when you move into someone's house, you got to abide by what's going on in that house, whether it's to your liking or not. See? Verse 12, saying, these have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and heat of the day. Yeah, and that's concerning, guys that been in this truth longer than others, and they complain. Oh, man, you just coming into this truth, man. But, that's what this parable is going into, all right? Verse 13, but he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. And that's the spirit right there, because, I'm pretty sure by now, you listeners, you can hear my voice that this is personalized. And I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. We had a brother, all right, that you would think was a brother, to get dismissed from the camp last night, man. And he sent me a text after the smoke cleared, and the text was, "What did I do wrong?" Well, that's the spirit. We reading it right here. It says, but he answered one of them and said, "Friend, I do thee no wrong." Okay, because he felt as if, how, did I offend brothers, or what did I do? What did I do? Well, this is how it's answering your question, bro. I do you no wrong. See, again, but he answered one of them and said, "Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree with me for a penny?" Yeah, so you agreed, man. You agreed to do the work of the Lord, And this certain brother, his whole thing was, man, I got to balance things out. My old lady complaining, all right? Which he kept pushing this word balance, just throwing the word balance around. When you consider this camp, for the most part, the brothers only gather twice a week, man. When it concerns doing the work. Now, brothers get together during the week, all right? Brothers fellowship, you have certain brothers get together and do lessons. We don't discourage, we encourage brothers to get together, So brothers, they get together, they might get with this brother, that brother, do a lesson, But we have mandatory times where we, of course, obviously, it's mandatory for us to go out and hit the streets. And also, to get together with the brothers in fellowship, man, and do a live stream, all right? That's twice a week. So if you have a man saying he got to balance things out, that doesn't make any sense because you only, getting with the brothers twice a week, man. So you got plenty of time to get with your woman and get with your kids. Furthermore, there's other men that have that same scenario or obstacle that they have to get over, man. Okay, and that shows you that a lot of guys, they are selfish, man. And it goes back to the example, if you're a football player and you sign a contract with the owner of a football team, you got to hold up your end of the bargain no matter how the locker room is ran, You committed, man. See? And furthermore, there's 70 other guys on the roster that's upholding their end of the bargain. You the lone guy that you the only one that got an old lady, man. You the only one that got kids that's missing you, man. See? And ultimately what happened, the Lord release you, man. The Lord get rid of you, man. Because why? Your heart is not here. You haven't dedicated your life fully to Yahweh Shema Shah. Scriptures tell you, he that take his hand to the plow and looketh back is not fit for the kingdom of heaven, man. All right? You looking back, you want to spend time with your woman and your kids at the expense of doing what Yahweh Shema Shah told you to do, man. So again, it says, but he answered one of them and said, "Friend, I do thee no wrong." See? "Didst not thou agree with me for a penny?" See, so you agree, man. Nobody put a gun to your head, or any of you guys out there who came into this truth only to draw back. Nobody put a gun in your head and told you to come out here and do this work. You looked at the videos. You saw the brothers out there. You probably was taken by the show of brotherhood, and you probably got all excited about seeing brothers come together and call the so-called white man the devil, and you wanted to be a part of that, man. Nobody asked you to come into this thing, okay? But in that act alone, you vowed to serve Yahweh Shem outside. So you agreed. Matter of fact, let's click on the definition of this word for agreed. Get the pronunciation in the Greek.
Strong's G 4856. Symphoneo. Symphoneo.
Symphoneo, which that word symphoneo goes back to symphony, man. When you consider like a symphony or orchestra, everybody is in harmony. And even when you consider a symphony, they can't even sit where they want to sit. They got to sit in a certain position. You have the tubas have to sit in a certain place. You have the flutes and the clarinets. They have to sit in a certain place, whereas not to drown out the other sounds. It's a very intricate piece of work setting up a symphony, man. Then ultimately you have the director, you know, which would be Yahweh Shah. See? So that goes back to symphony, you know, pretty much synchronizing, you know, having synergy. Now let's read these definitions. It says to agree together, all right? It says to agree with one in making a bargain. Yeah, you made a bargain with Yahweh Shemel Shah, man. It wasn't with your camp head. It wasn't with the second in command, third in command, whatever respected order. It wasn't with the apostles, man. You act as if the apostles, the elders, your camp heads is going to feel some type of way because you didn't continue. Man, we're going to keep trucking. We're going to get rid of you. We're going to cash you out, which, by the way, a lot of these guys don't understand that the Lord gave us the jurisdiction to cash you out, man. Okay? The Lord gave us the jurisdiction and the authority to cast men out. And guys don't understand that. Matter of fact, this is Matthew, the 22nd chapter, and starting at the 11th verse. It says, and when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. Right. So you're going to have men that's going to actually be in this arena. They're going to be in this hearing. They're going to actually go out and teach. They're going to actually get precepts, man. They're going to have on a garment, you know. They're going to be numbered amongst the guests. But spiritually, they're not going to have on a wedding garment. See that? Verse 12, and he said unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? Yeah, and that translates to those who crept in unawares. You know, I know since I've been in this truth, there's been 3 guys personally that I had to dismiss from the camp, man. Okay? And one of those guys in particular, well, in this case, now 2 guys, you sit back and you wonder, damn, how did this guy even come in here, man? Well, guess what? It was to fulfill scripture. The scriptures tell you that they're going to be men to creep in unaware, man. So the Lord actually put you to sleep and allow a guy to come in the camp right up under your nose just to fulfill scripture. See, the Lord is powerful, man. Again, it says, and he said unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Yeah, because, these guys, once you counsel them, you might ask them certain questions and, why you feel this way. They really ain't got no excuse, man. They speechless, They might throw around a couple of words, but there's no substance to it. It's like court, when it's time for you to cross-examine or what have you. You don't even have no evidence. You don't have nothing to substantiate why you're in the position you're in, see? Verse 13, then said the king, which is Yahweh Shah, to the servants, which would be the different men in the camp, starting with the camp heads, bind him hand and foot and take him away. Yeah, so the Lord gave us the jurisdiction to kick you out, man. And this even applies to, brothers and sisters that's listeners. Or a scoffer. Somebody might come on the coming board and we kick him off the live chat. We have just dismissed him. And the Lord going to honor that, see? See, again, it says, then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, yes, a lot of guys come in, see, but few are chosen. So the point is, the Lord gave us the jurisdiction to kick you out. That's why the Lord told Peter, whatever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatever you shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven, meaning what the Lord is going to honor what we do, man. So if we kick you out the camp, the Lord going to honor that. The Lord not going to say, you know what, man, nope, I'm with this guy. No, man, the Lord is going to honor what we say, man, through the Spirit. Okay? So when you go back to this definition for agreed, because, like that guy as well as others, they agreed to come into this thing. But once things begin to become uncomfortable, they want to look for the first exit out. And it's always the same. Just like the Apostle Gabar made the statement, these guys can't just leave the camp with integrity. They have to blame you, man. They have to blame the way the camp was being ran or whatever. They find all these different faults, instead of saying, you know what, man, I don't think this is for me. I need to, cater to my woman and my child, man. So back in these definitions, when you go down to the Strong's definition, it says to be harmonious. See, to be harmonious, which goes back to they sung, as it were, a new song. See, and that's that world. Really, when you go into it, that's that world who Yahweh Shai came to save. In John 3:16, for God so loved the world. When you look up that word "world," it goes into harmonious arrangement. See, it says to be harmonious. See, accord, yeah, being on one accord. See, agree together with. See, agree together with. So you made a vow to serve Yahweh by Shem Shai. And when you don't carry out your end of the bargain, you got to pay for that, man. You know? It's not like the Lord going to look at anybody else. He's not going to look at your camp head, your contemporaries in the camp. No, he's going to look at you, man. You was obligated to do your service. Matter of fact, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter, and starting at the 4th verse. It says, when thou vowest a vow unto the Most High, defer not to pay it. Yeah, again, so you vowed a vow. You agreed to do the work, man. All right? It says, for he have no pleasure in fools. Yeah, because the Lord have no pleasure in a guy that's double-minded, who comes into this thing, then all of a sudden, in the 9th inning, you re-examining everything. You know what, man? I haven't spent enough time with my woman, man. Hey, and that was the excuse from the brother, man. Hey, and it's heavy. Right now, we still in the Passover, man. And all of you brothers out there who've been in this thing long enough, you know that this is the time where the Lord pretty much get rid of guys, man. Cast guys out of the body. This is the time where the Lord is trimming the fat, if you will. See? It says, when thou vowest a vow unto the Most High, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. And how do you pay it? By continually doing what the Lord commanded you to do, man. If it's an order for you to come to a live stream, you go, man. If it's an order for you to go out on the streets and teach, you go. If it's an order for you to do no less than 3 videos a week, you do those videos. See? Better is that thou shouldest not vow. Yeah, it was best for you to just be a family man, not even come into this truth. Then thou shouldest vow and not pay. Yeah, you guilty of that. And a lot of you guys guilty of that, man. And, you know, as far as the brother that got kicked out of the camp, you know, this is no hard feelings, man. You know, this is business right here, man. Okay? And, you know, you pray for the brother, you hope, hey, the Lord can have mercy on the brother. You know? So we're not in it for the satisfaction of seeing brothers fall out, man. You know? We here to gather. We don't want to see brothers fall out. Verse 6, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Yeah, and one of the things that got the brother kicked out, he wasn't able to listen to the counsel. He was going back and forth. He was looking to justify himself. Well, look, man, it's all about balance, man. I need to be with my girl. You know? Hey, Yahweh Shai said, it's not what go in a man would defile of him, is what come out of a man. Because a guy's still haven't got it. This is a spiritual thing. Do you know when brothers counsel you, that's Yahweh Shai, man. You actually going back and forth with the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man. See? Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel. Yeah, and the angel is dealing with from something extreme as the death angel coming and put you to death. And even the men that the Lord send to talk to you, because the angel goes to a messenger, see? But in this case, it's dealing with that death angel. It says, and neither say thou before the angel that I was in error, wherefore should the Most High be angry at thy voice. Yeah, the Lord don't want to hear what you got to say. You know? When you counseling, the Lord have a counsel bring you up on a counsel, and here it is, you steadily talking, man. The Lord will get angry at your voice and just say, hey, man, you dismissed, all right? It says, wherefore should the Most High be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands. Right, so the Lord is going to actually, here it is, you've been building, Here it is. You've been building for 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and the Lord just kicked that shit down like a sandcastle. So all the work you did is going to be nothing, man. It's going to be counted as nothing. See that? So the moral of the story is, you know, when you vow to the Lord, you made that vow with the Lord. If you make an agreement with the Lord, that's between you and the Lord. Whatever, you know, conditions you face with in the midst of that, hey, that got nothing to do with it. You got to battle through that. And again, the best analogy I can give is, you know, if you're a football player, you signed a contract with the owner. Look, you made an agreement with that owner, man, or that team. So you might not like the locker room. You might not like the way the locker room is set up. You might not like the captain of the team, you know? But guess what? That's not your cue to say, you know what, man, since things is going this way, I think I'm going to fall back. No, the owner going to say, man, the hell with you, man. I gave you my money. I gave you this wisdom. I gave you this contract. I don't give a damn what's going on the field. I don't give a damn what's going on in the locker room. You got an obligation to me, man, and you got to fulfill that duty. So y'all just wanted to touch on that. Lord willing, it was edifying. Till the next time I say shalom.